Railway road crossings, often referred to as level crossings, are a staple part of the UK network, often overlooked by commuters and passers-by. In reality, these crossings have a deadly potential for fatal accidents if misused, which unfortunately is more common than one would like to think. On the 6th of November 2004, the quaint village of Ufton Nervet, 6 miles southwest of Reading, would make national news headlines as the result of a deadly rail collision between a high-speed train and a road vehicle on the level crossing just a small distance northwest of the town itself. In this video, I'm going to break down and take a short delve into the tragic disaster and its components involved. The crossing was a 2-track wide standard automatic half-barrier level crossing, meaning that the barriers were arranged in such a pattern where only one lane out of 2 on the road would be blocked when the crossing was active, alerting the drivers of an oncoming train. These half-barrier crossings are generally used in places where the traffic is unlikely to congest enough to encourage drivers to jump the crossing whilst it is active, and in places where line speed is or is under 100 miles per hour on the railway line. This is opposed to automatic full barrier crossings, in where the entirety of the road is blocked by barriers when active. Due to the automatic nature of the crossing, no humans are required to operate the wigwags and barriers, wigwag being an informal name for the warning signal displayed on the crossing when a train is nearby. These systems are activated when the train enables what's called a track circuit. Track circuits work by using the rails as an electrical circuit measuring the voltage in these sections. When any heavy rolling stock enters that section of rail, an identification is made due to the change in voltage beginning the sequence on the crossing, warning vehicle operators of an oncoming train. The sequence by standard in UK automatic crossings goes as follows. The train activates the track circuit and an amber warning light is displayed whilst an alarm or siren begins to sound. After 2 to 3 seconds, the amber light switches off and red lights begin to alternate as the barriers descend. The train then passes the crossing, activating a second track circuit, raising the barrier, disabling the alarm and turning off the warning signals. The level crossing itself feels very remote, being surrounded by fields and featuring a 2-lane country road connecting the village of Ufton to the A4 to link bigger towns such as Reading and Newbury. It's situated in between the stations of Aldermaston and Thiel on the Reading to Taunton line, proving to be an important artery of the UK rail network connecting lines from London to the southwest of England. The train consisted of 2 Class 43 HST Intercity 125 power cars in the first Great Western livery, 43019 City of Swansea leading, 43029 trailing, and 8 Mark III coaches, one of which being a buffet car, which overall is a fairly standard formation for intercity trains at the time. The Class 43 is a diesel-electric locomotive built between 1975 and 1982, entering service in 1976, meaning that the diesel engines power an electric traction motor which drives the train's wheel axles. These locomotives are built specifically to haul passenger service sets over long distances and high speeds, hence the nickname HST standing for High Speed Train. The class has been through multiple variations of prime movers and engines. However, as of 2004, 43019 would have been using a Valenta prime mover, characteristic for its vacuum cleaner-like scream as the engine revs up. 43s are officially classed as the fastest diesel locomotives in the world to this day, having a maximum speed of 148.5 miles per hour. However, these trains are limited to 125 miles per hour in regular operation. The Mark III coaches, built from 1975 to 1988, are successors of the older Mark II coaches and have a comfortable construction with coil spring suspension and hydraulic dampers. This enables a maximum speed of 125 miles per hour, pairing these a perfect match with the aforementioned HST sets. These coaches were entered and exited through slam doors, referring to a manual door similar to the front door of a house. After many incidents leading up to 1993, a central door locking system was implemented in these to prevent any more mishaps of people falling out and fatally injuring themselves while the train was in motion, meaning that 43019's set would have contained this safety feature. At 5:35 PM on the evening of the disaster, 43019 and its rake departed London Paddington under head code 1C92, on time headed for its final destination of Penzance, Cornwall. Its first scheduled stop along the journey was at Reading, in which it departed 1 minute late at 6:03 PM, adhering to speed restrictions that were in place along the line at Southcote Junction just south of Reading West Station. After clearing these speed restrictions, the train accelerated up to near the line's speed limit of 100 miles per hour and began thundering down towards Ufton Nervet level crossing. Leading up to the time of this collision, a 2001 Mazda 323 manoeuvred itself onto Ufton Crossing and appeared to park on said crossing, which was not yet activated. Shortly preceding the activation of the crossing, an off-duty police officer was greeted by this scene on the road, to which he was prompted to flash his headlights and sound his horn, much to no avail of the driver of the Mazda, who completely ignored these actions. At 6:11 PM, the train activated the crossing, sounding the alarm and descending the barriers, which led to the off-duty officer to grab the level crossing's emergency telephone, a communication line which has direct connection to both the emergency services on 999 or the railway signallers to stop all trains within the area. The call, however, was useless, as the driver of 1C92 continued speeding along at 98 miles per hour until applying the emergency brake 2 to 3 seconds before the collision after sighting the obstruction on the line. Due to the heavy weight of the entire train formation, this likely would have only slowed the train down by 1 or 2 miles per hour. As a result, the train collided into the Mazda at 6:12 PM. The impact forced the car's engine block beneath 43019's leading wheel axle. This in turn caused the whole front of the train to ride upwards, which resulted in the wheel flanges climbing and derailing. The train continued upright whilst derailed for 91 metres before encountering a junction or set of rail points, which caused the catastrophic derailment of 43019 as the wheel set struck the rail. Due to the Mark III coaches being directly coupled to the power car, this in turn caused the catastrophic derailment of all vehicles in the formation, which came to rest 360 metres from the crossing. The coaches were all at varying angles relative to their original position, whilst the third Mark III had become folded horizontally around a bogie, aka set of wheel axles and suspension, after embedded in an embankment. As a result of the disaster, out of 200 to 300 passengers aboard, 120 were injured and 7 were fatally killed, including the driver of 1C92, who had Class 43 power car 43139 named after him as a tribute to the horrific incident. And in closure of this incident, Ufton Nervet level crossing was demolished in 2016 and replaced by a road bridge, providing a much safer form of passage over the railway line towards the A4.